son of a b- This is the deck we'll be using today. The base was designed by Tarakomon, and I made some tweaks of my own. Instead of 3 Rashids, we have put in 1 Nash instead of that 3rd Rashid. Tarakomon had a 3rd Mikhail, which I replaced with riding the giant weapon. Otherwise, this is exactly as he has set it. It is very straightforward. There are no big gambles, no high rolling. Like most Antibody decks, this deck is based on board control. We use our explorers and our hero art to keep units on the field and dealing damage to the hero as much as possible. Alright, let's see this bad boy in action. So, the fight starts. We get our first hand, and we don't want this. The only playable card at the beginning is Chain of Fists, and after that we would start to lose value very quickly. Always look out for 2 explorers at the least. If you get 1 explorer and an activator, that's alright, but it's recommended to have some easy filters like Chain of Fists. So, we got Carlos and Hellbat. Good start, and activator is icing on the cake. Now, Carlos is recommended over Hellbat as an opening card because Lair exists. If they are able to play Lair and kill Hellbat, it is just absolutely free value. Lair is already a good card. You don't want them to get that extra value for free. We don't really need to do anything at the beginning, so we just kind of save up and wait for them to put something down. And I just put Carlos down. It's a safe bet. Very good stat line. Good explorer. And they put a feline down. Now that's going to take 3 hits, but it doesn't matter. And we shield Hellbat because this sets us up for a better scenario. We can keep poking them. We do have an activator. It would be nice to get that that detonation, but we can't be too hasty. We play our second Hellbat, and we get our detonation again. We use that to keep our first Hellbat safe. And when they react, okay, we kind of needed that Explorer. We need to do it right now. Should only use that activator as a last resort because oof, that happens. You get sealed. And that'll happen. But fortunately we drew a 3rd Explorer into our hand just with that activator. And yes, because the opponent is smart, they wait until I use an activator to use their seal. So by waiting to use the activator instead of using it right away, we still got to poke the hero once. Now, looking at the board as it is, all 1 attack, there's actually kind of no need to attack. We can kind of just chill. Don't be afraid to take a couple hits if it's low damage. If you need to make a big play, there's no shame in waiting. We drop Nash. We drop Nash in the bottom and not in the middle, just because if Nash gets sealed, it's bad news for that trade. Like true, if we drop Nash in the middle, Nash will trade evenly with the shielded Huitzel, but that could get tilted by either a seal or a reset, and we don't want that. Besides, we have alternatives. We have Mikhail to block, and we have Claire to remove the Huitzel. So Nash is a good fit in the bottom lane, but they still have time to react. They still have time to ascend if possible. Oh, and they break out the Trinity, and it adds 3. 3 is a decent amount. And fortunately, Claire is still suitable for the mid lane, although now she will have to take a hit in addition to dealing the 6 in front. So now we need a little bit more of a push to take out the feline. So that's why I played the ammo. So this time it'll only take 1 attack round instead of 2. So there is an important little moment there. Nash is not within lethal for any type of ascend, so we don't really need to antibody before the feline is taken out. But after it's taken out, yes, he has 4 HP. That's looking a little suspicious. But there's nothing really that Chun-Li can put down that has 4 attack by default. However, they do throw me a little bit of the mix. So they play a feline and immediately ascend into a turtloid, which makes it a perfect little trade. So we lose Nash due to a surprise ascension. We played Cody in the mid lane to try and soak a hit from Huitzel as well as break some shields, and that way we can play Claire to just remove it. Nash could have been placed later in order to avoid any kind of shenanigans. Placing it early just gives the opponent more time to drop a reset or a seal. Again, those are the biggest problems that we face every day in our everyday world. And we antibody Claire. We want to share the love, keep board pressure up. And by doing it last second, we maintain the use of a shield. It is a lot easier to I mean, if you do AA early, you will find people that can quickly move that seal up there and remove the shield. So this guarantees the shield will actually do something. Yeah, so Antibody specializes in board control, so in almost all cases it's recommended to keep as many units alive as possible, especially those like Claire with high attack. We toss a Chain of Fists we toss a few Chain of Fists to farm some memory and possibly get some, we want to deny Ascension in the middle lane, but if it helps out top lane, that's good too. We get 2 hits in the top, which makes it, which leaves it in the opponent's responsibility to ascend before our hit comes in, so that gives us the advantage. However, Doll's Memories takes out Claire. I added 1 Riding the Giant Weapon to counter the Doll's Memories when used in an offensive manner, but I didn't draw it this time. Because our antibody is down, we can't quickly slap antibody on Nash to make sure he wins the trade. However, it is ready for the Huitzel that comes afterwards. Now in this case, Huitzel has the perfect amount of attack to take Nash down, but we have antibody. So instead of taking 1 hit to down Nash, now they would ideally need to have several, 3. They need to have 3. One to take down the shield, the one to take down the HP, and another one to finish him off. And again, we do antibody at the last second to deny any kind of seal. Like if they got a seal off and took the shield off and the combo, that would be a lot more value. Unfortunately, we get hit with a reset here, which kind of, puts us at some disadvantage. We don't get the benefits of combo, but I use the blue mana on a safer option, which is just Agent's Memories. An alternative to that play would have been to play a shield on top. That way it would trade evenly. But I decided to save the shield just in case. Besides, we have our good buddy Mikhail here, who's very good at soaking hits. So we have, for a moment there, we had a clear board. Now a clear board is definitely a bad sign for Chun-Li. She needs to have something on the board at all times. So when at all possible, you can just remove her units. As long as she has something to work off of, she will be able to get value. However, by quickly removing units makes it harder for her to ascend, And if she's left with only units that need to ascend, ooh, the value drops very quickly. So technically it's dangerous for me to not antibody Carlos here with Ground Scaravich ready to hit his 3rd level. However, if you were keeping a close eye on the mana during the last action phase, you could definitely tell that she does not have enough mana to drop another unit. So we can kind of chill and wait for that line to come in. And we have an enemy unit coming to attack with 4 HP. Well, Antibody makes it so that we can immediately remove Feline. They don't get as much free mana, and they don't have the Ascension fodder, or at least if they do, they have to do it quickly. With this exchange, it was Feline's turn to hit. Feline was coming in with the attack line first, but due to some slight lag, our attack connects first, so we remove the unit, but we don't get the free 4 face damage. Heavenly Kick's Chun-Li shows up in the top lane, and we have 2 options. We can drop Claire to remove it immediately, or we can drop Fate-Defying Ryu. And I choose FD Ryu. I had almost 9 MP at the time, and we needed some heavy board presence in order to get the ball rolling back in our favor. So I like to put a shield on Carlos to make it once again in that state where they have to ascend as their line's coming to me, or else they lose the unit, which isn't very good for them. If I had noticed the freshly drawn State of Nothingness, I would have used it last second action, 1 attack round earlier, but it still gets the job done. So a last second attack increase for lethal gives the opponent an extremely limited time to toss an answer. In this case, a seal does nothing to stop him, and a reset would have to be played in a separate action phase. I put them in check earlier than just letting the Ryu go. Next game begins, and we keep our first hand. We have a lot of explorers here. 3 explorers of any type is an excellent starting hand, and you get bonus points for different kinds of explorers. This time they play their feline first, and again, we want to lead with Carlos. Now 4 HP, that's an important number. 4 HP coming in, what happens? Oh, they always play Turtloid. They always seem to have that. And we play the shield just in case. Like I said, 4 HP is the amount to look for. If your unit's attack is coming in on a weak unit, and your unit has 4 HP, last second Turtloid, I think, was going to rock you. Now, it was smart to play the shield, but it was great of him to have the doll's memories. Again, I have a Riding the Giant Weapon card to make this card backfire, but I did not have it here. So we play the Detonation to get the damage out, use up our blue mana because it is safe. So our unit on top is sealed, and okay. They use up a seal that could have been used on something later on, which is nice. That's another reason why sometimes it's good to hold off on playing those high priority units like Nash and Rashid. So there's a reluctant Claire placement here because 4 HP is pretty reasonable. Either placing Nash and immediately antibodying it to get the 4 attack to instantly remove Turtloid, or Claire. They're both good. But Claire, basically you hedge your bets. You you remove the unit, and don't take that chance that they're going to quickly seal it or reset your unit. So here we see a 1/1 feline with our attack coming in. Let's see, what did we learn? They didn't actually place a Turtloid. Again, you try to do it last second because they're trying to last second surprise you as well. In preparing for a Turtloid, we put Antibody on, and it actually messed up their timing. So we staggered the opponent's timing, and we gain massive value from making them lose their Ascension. Sure, we don't have an Antibody use for Nash, but we don't really need it. He's so threatening on his own. Besides, it would be another target to be sealed, another more value, takes shield and combo off. So since we use Antibody on a different target, they decide to use Reset on Carlos. So they're using that Reset card, the 2 of, for taking 1 attack and 1 HP off of Carlos. That's not even that much. However, it is a smart move because it allows the Turtloid to live for another attack round. But at the end of the day, the impact is low. We put a shield on Claire to keep pressure in every lane. It's going to take more than a single mana unit to take down Claire. So here, a last-second Ascension gets Carlos killed, but after all the dust clears and we place our Cody, Turtloid has close to 6 HP, so we call in that Claire to finish the job. Now Cody is a good fit for bottom lane because Lair is down there. She is going to go down without much of a fuss, and we still have a 3 attack unit on bottom. There's a bit of a reluctant riding the giant weapon here just because we didn't get that bonus. However, by playing it first, we're either going to trade evenly with Nero at the top, or if they reply, I can play State of Nothingness on one of these cards so that when the order comes back, when all the actions resolve, the additional effect of riding the giant weapon will proc. So we get enough AP for Antibody, and with a quick play, we are able to up the attack on Nash and make it so they don't even trade evenly. This also, it saves Claire from being killed by the spillover, and instead she dies to the feline. So you could put Antibody on Claire and have top still trade evenly, but I didn't want to Antibody Claire and then have her lose her shield immediately due to some spillover. So here the last second ammo makes it difficult for them to respond to this. So they can use the blue mana to reset Nash immediately, and since the reset was played after the ammo, it would reset and then give me the attack, so I would at least net 3 attack. Or they could wait and spend more mana to not let me get the attack at all, but because the line is so close to the end, it would be a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble to try and get that. So they don't have that much, they don't have any mana to do much of anything to ascend. So by placing State of Nothingness on Mikhail, it does not give them any opportunities to ascend that feline. It removes it from the board faster, which limits her mana gain. Besides, at this point, Natural Cycle is likely to show up, so using those legendaries sooner rather than later might be preferable. So we want to save one of 2 cards. We want to either protect Mikhail from being jumped by an Ascension, or we can try and hit bottom and save Cody from being taken out by a lizard. However, they had the wall jump. That's still 1 shield down. All the units currently on the board are reasonable threats, so we throw a Chain of Fists just to try and save everything as much as we can. We reduce her options, and that's the goal here. But we got the shield business, so Cody goes down. We play Carlos here to see if we can save this 7 attack unit. I expected something more than just 1 attack, but they wanted to block with a shielded Lair. But it works out well for us in the end, because now they would have to ascend before the attack comes in. So because of that shield, it leaves the opponent with the responsibility of playing an action or ascending on Lair to keep that unit there. And because the units were played so last second, the 2 hits trade very quickly. Lair goes down, and the opponent quickly drops a feline. So we lost Mikhail, but we took out a unit for free. Now, the feline was the new basic feline, so it gets a shield when there are 3 different tribes present, and there were not 3 different tribes. So if they had gotten that shield, they would have kept the unit, but they didn't. So we just took out a 3 MP unit for free on that one. Now, the current meta Yawn deck uses, I believe it's 2 disarms. So now we're looking at either Antibodied Rashid or FD Rio to take out this Nero. We've got some time to breathe. That's not very much damage. I figure Natural Cycle's coming soon. We could probably just drop the FD Ryu. We can save the Antibody in that case too. So we don't do the immediate Antibody just because resets, seals. We don't really, we play Antibody when we need to, or if we want to create extra pressure, which is exactly why we play it on the Hellbat here. So he's already used both of his seals. That's what we expect, at least. There's only 2 seals. So, I could smell Natural Cycle coming from a mile away. You can see that she only has 2 cards left in her deck, so she's got a recharge, and the Antibody will save Hellbat from a layer being placed anyways. And the beautiful part about Natural Cycle is that it opens up a can of worms for the enemy. So they get to start their deck over, but we get all of our explorers in random places. So there's no more telegraph. You don't know when a detonation is coming up because a Hellbat was placed. You can't count the pocket anymore. So now there's more of the element of surprise. So the hand that we get is pretty mediocre, but it doesn't matter. We clutch it out pretty convincingly. So because Jill struggles in the early game because of low explorers, low memory, you don't hit those thresholds. Natural Cycle, you starts the game over, yes, but you have all of your explorers. Your explorer count is high. Your memory count is high. So that means whatever hand you get, it's not unplayable. I mean, there are some exceptions, obviously, but most of the time you are not going to get a hard-to-use hand. And that is it for my Jill Yawn matchup analysis video. If you guys liked it, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also watch me live on Twitch, twitch.tv/malletmoogle. You can let me know in the comments if you like this kind of video. It was fun to make. Nice little experiment for me. And that's it for me. So I will see you guys next time.